My name is Nebojsa Pavlovic and will be representing the General Granite Limited in this proceeding. The purpose of this presentation is to show that there is a valid arbitration agreement and consequently that the arbitration tribunal is properly constituted and that it may proceed with the arbitration. I have separated this presentation into three parts. The first part is the summary of the chain of events that took place during project life cycle. The second part is related to setting the major arbitration parameters such as the seat, law and rules of arbitration. The third part will be related to evaluation of requirements for the validity of arbitration agreement and proper constitution of tribunal. The construction started as planned and the workers have mobilized on site. Since the very beginning of the project, we have dealt with Mr. Twiggins and were under impression that he is an employee of Mighty. He was the contact person for all construction activities, so we have assumed that he acts in capacity of the contract administrator, bearing in mind the nature of this project. Once the workers left the site, we did not have any other option other to send a notice of arbitration to Mr. Twiggins. As we did not receive any answer, we have instructed the RGU Law School to appoint a sole arbitrator in accordance with the arbitration clause. Therefore, we feel that we have followed the procedure in accordance with the Scotland Arbitration Act, arbitration clause and UNCITRAL arbitration rules. We will support our views in the third part of presentation. The second part of presentation is related to definition of the major arbitration parameters. The contract defines the location of the arbitration venue, but is silent on the seat of arbitration. We have based our approach on the fact that the arbitration seat is in Scotland. Cases that support our view are Dubai Islamic Bank versus Payment Merchant Services and Shashua versus Sharma, where the contract law was Indian law and the venue of the arbitration was London. So these were the only details provided in this case, and the judge ruled that the arbitration seat was England. In our case, we have English law as a substantive law, and we have Edinburgh as a venue of arbitration. So the coincidence to this case is obvious. In addition, we have RGU Law School from Aberdeen as an appointment authority, and Granite Limited is based in Scotland. The last point is important as the arbitration awards will be published in the company headquarters, which provides similarity in establishing the seat of arbitration with the case of Arab National Bank versus Al Abdali, where it is held that the seat of arbitration is London based on several unrelated parameters. The only alternative to Scotland is England, as the substantive law is English law, but our view is the selection of Scotland as arbitration seat is properly supported by cases, and the most optimal solution, bearing in mind that the seat of arbitration is in Mighty Abacus contract is also Scotland. Substantive law of solving disputes can be different to Scottish law as it is stated in the Scotland Arbitration Act section 3.2. We would like to agree with Mighty about the definition of arbitration seat, but as they are not present on this hearing, we would like to ask the tribunal to confirm Scotland to be the seat of arbitration. The rules of arbitration are UNCITRAL arbitration rules, and these rules replace all default rules in the Arbitration Scotland Act. All sections from the first part of the Act and mandatory rules contained in the Schedule 1 will be used in this arbitration. Now I will move towards the last part of presentation, when our party needs to protect itself from the impact of Section 14 of Scotland Arbitration Act. This section defines the right of party who take no part in arbitral proceeding. In this case, Mighty is not present in arbitral proceedings. As Mighty is not present, they may question whether there is a valid arbitration agreement, whether the tribunal is properly constituted, and what matters have been submitted to arbitration in accordance with the arbitration agreement. The first question is there a valid arbitration agreement? Section 5.3, stating separability, states that validity of agreement may be arbitrated in accordance with the arbitration agreement. In order to have an arbitration agreement, there have to be a valid arbitration clause. There is a valid arbitration clause where it was clearly specified that an ad hoc arbitration would be with sole arbitrator in Edinburgh, with RGU Law School as appointing authority. As the seat of arbitration is not specified, we wish to clarify that point with the tribunal.